Yay! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Royal Fashion News Tiara Watch Party. I am so excited for this. This is Luxembourg Ascension Day. I almost covered this, and I decided not to because we will get into why once you see the fashion. And then I heard that the Belgian and Netherlands royals were going to be there, and then I'm like, oh, I want to go. And then I contacted them, and they didn't get back to me. So, anyways. We got to talk about all the looks as we're waiting for the official tiara appearances. So it's supposed to start at 7 Luxembourg time, and it is currently 6 Luxembourg time. So I'm not sure how much we will, like, when we'll start getting pictures and images, it'll probably be before too long. But I thought we could just go over as we're sort of waiting and catching up with everything, go over the fashion looks that we have seen so far today, because there were some standouts, some not so much standouts, and some, let's say, interesting and unique looks. So I'll just say hi to a couple people here real quick. We have Lizzie B, who said Grand Duchess Stephanie looked beautiful in her light blue caped gown. I do have to say, I think I disagree. We'll get into why. Mateo said the name Grand Duchess Stephanie has a nice ring to it. It does. Carol said, hello, Brittany, Miss Pippa, and chat from cloudy Southwest Florida. Mateo says, so exciting. Excited. We can almost guarantee that Grand Duchess Stephanie will wear red this evening. Her first 2 outfits have been the color of Luxembourgish flag, sky blue and white, so red is highly likely. I think you're right. That's a great observation. You also say, can we expect to see other royal women besides the Dutch, Luxembourg, and Belgian royals be there, such as Crown Princess Victoria or Queen Mary? No. So this is just the Belgian and the Dutch. So we're not going to see anybody else. So I think now I'm going to speculate here. I think the next big royal gathering where we will see a lot of royals in tiaras should be the 80th birthday celebrations of King Girl Gustav next year in April. Or at least I'm hoping, because I want to plan a trip for that. Lizzie B says, love Queen Maxima wore King Wilhelm Alexander's proclamation. The color was so vibrant, and the tiara she chose was amazing. Yeah, that definitely could be an option. Although I imagine my speculation for Queen Maxima in terms of her tiara this evening is it may be the Stuart, or it'll be another tiara, which I'll have to look and determine is closely connected to the relationship between the Dutch and the Luxembourgish, because the Netherlands used to actually hold the throne of the Luxembourg, but because the throne was going to go to Wilhelmina, the throne at the time for the Luxembourgish could not be held by a woman. Actually, I don't even think women were in line of succession until the last 10, 20 years. And so because of that, I imagine that we'll see something with family connections there. And we do have a very special guest of the 4-footed variety, everybody. If you are not aware, this is Miss Pippa, and this is my puppy dog. She likes to come in and say hi every once in a while. Yeah, can you see hi? They're over there. Do you see him? Do you see him? They're right over there. She doesn't see you guys, so sorry. I know, baby girl. I know. Yeah. Are we good girl today? Are we good girl today? Okay. All right. So enough with the sweetest puppy in the whole wide world, which is Miss Pippa. I would get her a little tiara. But we do actually technically have crowns that we can put on her head, but she does hate them. Like Halloween. So we're going to have to do a little Halloweeny photo shoot with you, Miss Pippa. Yeah. Alice Ransom Race says, Brittany, off topic, but I know you have heard rumors that Princess Elizabeth of Belgium is dating Prince George of Liechtenstein. I have heard that, although I'll have to look and see again, guys, because I've heard various things that the picture that went around of Princess Elizabeth with Prince George was actually AI. Sorry. And so because of that, I'm not entirely sure if it's one that I'm not entirely sure if it's true or not. I'd have to look again, because it seemed to be that one of Elizabeth's brothers was sort of defending her and everything. So let's see. SP4186 says, I guess Elsa look ID controversial. It's think it's a bit unflattering, but she looks lovely, and I think it matched the chair and the setting. So yes. Yeah, we will have to criticize a little bit Duchess Stephanie's look. I haven't even heard exactly who designed it yet. So I'm just looking through pictures, guys, right now. And I'm trying to find get a picture of Grand Duchess Stephanie, excuse me, Grand Duchess Stephanie and her gown because it, mm, ugh. Okay, so let's look at it. Sorry, I'm trying to find one where it's just her in the gown here. So we do have, though, this absolutely adorable picture of Stephanie holding her son Charles, which is like adorable. So there's this one, very, very cute. So there we can kind of get a look at the gown, and we have her husband William. It's pronounced different in French, and honestly, like I never know how to pronounce it. So we'll just go with William. And this is Stephanie. So I'm going to keep looking though, guys, for sort of a good shot that I want here. And then we'll go over the other royal ladies' looks as we sort of wait for the gala this evening, which honestly, I am very, very much looking forward to. It's going to be awesome. So we'll go with this picture just because mostly Charles is adorable because he's like holding his ears. He's like not a fan of this event. It's kind of funny. Like I almost wish it'll be so funny to see, where we go here. So it's Ellie Saab, which I wondered because it seems a little bit Ellie Saab. And she did design, actually, Ellie Saab designed her wedding gown. So Stephanie's wedding gown, which was actually really lovely, was an Ellie Saab. So now we can kind of get the full look here. Now, what I will say about it is I like the color. I think the color is lovely. Beyond that, the fit is terrible. It's a terrible, terrible look. It's like, it's so unfortunate. Because it kind of has this weird, almost, you could call it like breastplate aspect to it in the front. So like this here kind of reminds me of like Warrior Princess. And then it also gives me really big Mother of the Bride vibes. And it ages her about 10 years. So Stephanie is only 41. She's not that much older than me. And if I just saw this dress, hadn't looked anything up, didn't know anything about her, I would think she's in her 50s. It's a really unflattering look. I think she's had a difficult time trying to find fit for stuff. Carol says, I hate the drop waist. It makes her chubbier than she is. Yeah, unfortunately, this is a outfit. And I say this a lot because she actually does like her makeup and everything. Her hair looks beautiful, but you really need to know what fit actually works for you. And this fit is terrible. It's just a terrible, terrible fit. And I like there's aspects of it I like, but that whole like so the skirt is fine and like the sleeves and the cape are fine. But that whole corner sort of, from the neck to kind of the waist there is just horrible. It's awful. I can't. It's just so bad. It's so incredibly bad. And yeah, some people are saying, that they didn't realize she was just 41. So Erin says, what, 41? Her outfit is a crime. It is. Honestly, it makes her look in her 50s. Lizzie B says the Grand Duchess is how young? I thought she was in her 50s. No, she's 41. Honestly, I thought she was older too. This looks like something her sort of mother-in-law would wear in some ways. And she's got to figure out something that works. I think she's had a tough time trying to figure out what fits her, what she likes. She's had 2 babies obviously sort of later in life, so that might impact things too. But this is just terrible, guys. It's just terrible. Yeah. It's really bad. Wendy Van Rokel says, my mother always said you had to really hold your tummy in to wear that style of dress. Yeah, because it just kind of adds weight to her. And it's just not good. Um, Belle D. Morris says, I'm 56 and nope to this dress. Mateo said, I've never been a huge fan of Grand Duchess Stephanie's fashion. I think she's still trying to find a shape that suits her. Yeah, and I imagine so this is sort of the tea, you could say, in Luxembourg, guys, which is that Grand Duchess Maria Theresa, or the former emeritus Grand Duchess Maria Theresa, is sort of well known, you could say, for being the Meghan Markle of Luxembourg. She's known for being quite, I don't want to say aggressive because that's not right, but she's known for being very, very heavy-handed, and she's known for bullying her staff a little bit. That's been the allegations. And I feel like she has sort of a big influence, and it's not a good influence because Grand Duchess Maria Theresa actually does look a bit better, but not by much because she can't figure out what style fits her either. And I wonder if Stephanie is just like, I've heard again, my guess would be like, how to describe it is Maria Theresa is I've heard is overbearing. And she also would give Stephanie and her daughter her old dresses. And Grand Duchess Maria Theresa is quite short, and they just didn't look good. I don't always like it necessarily when royals borrow their mother's gowns unless they're allowed to fit it to them. Because Ingrid Alexandra has worn some of her mother's old gowns, and they just don't hang well on her. And I think they could. They just need to be adjusted for her different frame. And so I just can't help but wonder if Stephanie's still a little bit stuck in that Maria Theresa rut. And so I was really hoping we would move away from that. But unfortunately not. Yeah. SP says, I just wish Stephanie would get a stylist. She dresses to cover her body, not flatter her figure. Exactly. Exactly. Susie D says she needs her boobs higher. She does. She does. So Heidi says, I'm 53 and I thought she was way older than me. She looks like his grandmother. She does. She unfortunately does. Her second outfit is a bit better, but she still hasn't, I think, she's conscientious of her figure or whatever. And so it just comes across this way, and it's not necessarily all that great. And then when you see her compared to the other royals, she just comes across looking really bad. So it's just kind of one of those unfortunate things. I'm trying to find a picture of her in the white dress, which is a little better for sure. Let me see if I can find a full view of it here. So sorry, guys, if you don't know, I was on with Dan earlier today, and we ended close to 11:30. I went and walked my dog, and then I came back, and I also was up at 5 a.m. this morning for something. And so I am very, very tired. So if I trail off and get confused, I do apologize. But again, it has been somewhat a longish day. So anyways, we will, of course, figure out more. Sorry, I just did Luxembourg. Let me do Grand Duchess Stephanie. So if you guys don't know, I just kind of troll through Getty Images and try to find pictures. And I'm seeing some. I'm looking for a head-to-toe look at the white dress. I'm sure it's here somewhere, but maybe not. We shall find it later. So, but I can show you a little bit of what it looks like because I think it's better. Still not necessarily totally ideal, but she seems very sweet. Like she really does. She seems rather adorable, but fashion is not her forte, I don't think. But we do have a bit of a better look here. So there you can see kind of draping. It's nice. It's nice. Rediscover locations with Sharona. Great question. Oh, Brittany, please tell me Stephanie's dress is it another one of her mother-in-law's dresses. As far as I'm aware, it is not. But we're still following a similar trend that we had, like, I feel like years ago. And so I'm like, yeah, Alice Ransom Ray says, it's such a shame. She's a beautiful woman and really deserves some lovely fashion. Exactly. Because I'm all about trying to figure out what works for you guys. It took me years to figure out what worked for me and my body type. I'm still figuring out somewhat, but like for me, dresses are my thing. And it's partly because I like dresses, but also dresses look best on me, particularly with something with an A-line. That's generally what I go for. So, it seems like it works. But Carol said the only person who did it right was Beatrice borrowing her grandmother's evening gown as a wedding gown. Yes. And we also have Princess Madeline of Sweden at her wedding reception wore one of her old mother's gowns. But again, I think when it comes to other royal families, because actually Crown Princess Victoria has worn her mother's gowns and those sorts of things, I think they are allowed to refit them, which is what you have to do. You have to be able to refit the gown. If you can't refit the gown, if it's made for the dimensions of a different person who has maybe a larger bust line or a larger waist or a smaller waist or something like that, it's just going to look off. So Alice says, why the drop waist? A nice clinched waist with a beautiful belt would be great. I agree. Polish and Needle says, hopefully Stephanie will be able to come out of the Maria Theresa's shadow when it comes to fashion. She has access to the big gun tiaras now. Use them. Yes, I'm hoping that she definitely comes out of that shadow because, I think Maria Theresa is very, very overbearing. So it will be interesting to see how she navigates this because it will definitely be a bit of a challenge. I think because Maria Theresa is still there. So she'll still, I think, like my understanding is that she kind of rules the family. Lizzie B says you can pronounce the Grand Duke's names as Guillaume. Been trying to find a way to spell it. I sent you the audio a while ago on how to pronounce it. Why, thank you. Yes, sometimes I'm like I would try to pronounce Matilda's name Mathilde or something, and somebody says, "Well, it's just basically Matilda," and I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go with Matilda." I do try to because we do have Philip, Philippe, and Felipe. I do kind of mess with some of the pronunciations there, just because it kind of differentiates the people. If I keep saying Philip, you will get confused. So, Lizzie B says Luxembourg has a great collection of tiaras. I hope the Grand Duchess gets them all out and wears them. I hope so too. Janet said, if the mother-in-law is so controlling, I'm betting she pushed this dress. I bet Stephanie is a very sweet lady, and maybe she survived by getting in. I imagine that's probably part of it. So I'm not surprised. Mateo says that outfit was way better on her. It was. This is way better, in my opinion. Erin says much, much better. Yeah. Alice says, oh, that's too bad. More flattering. Definitely. Yeah. Lizzie B says, I'm hoping to see her soon in the Luxembourg Empire tiara. Me too. The last time we saw that was at the wedding of Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden. And Grand Duchess Maria Theresa is quite small. So to see that gigantic tiara on her head is just a little bit ridiculous. But I'm all for wearing big tiaras. Louise says, I think if we are talking about the princess wearing their mother's dresses, we should definitely also look at both the Netherlands and Denmark. Yeah. So we do have some of the young Danish royals, like, getting into their mom's closet a little bit. It hasn't been gowns yet. It's been some other things. But we do have Princess Alexia wore her mother's gown to Prince Dog's Day. I think it was last year. And it did feel a little dated. I have to be honest. I think a better hairstyle would have pulled off the dress a little better, but it didn't look bad on her. It was just, I feel like for some reason, Ingrid Alexander, every time I see her in something of her mother's, I'm like, ooh, that doesn't fit you very well. But that's just my thought. Mateo says, I hope Grand Duchess Stephanie wears a Luxembourg Empire tiara. Yeah. Carol said it's beautiful dress. Yes, it's probably Nathan would be my guess. Lizzie B says, Ms. Brittany, which monarchy do you always say has a very few tiaras? Belgians or the Danish? Both. The Belgians for sure have a very small collection. The Danes technically have more, but some of them have left the family through marriage and stuff, and in one case, divorce. And so Queen Mary's been really creative with the collection and the limitations of it by creating that new bandeau tiara and everything and pulling out this like Roman tiara thing. So Queen Mary's been very creative with it. I feel like Luxembourg has like a fair amount of tiaras, but they're not particularly pretty tiaras. If there was a family with sort of the ugliest collection, I would have to say it's the Luxembourgs. Maybe it's because I just haven't seen them too often or I haven't seen them worn well, but I just see them and I'm like, they don't move me. And so it was, says, are the Luxembourg tiara derived from the Dutch vaults? One or two, maybe. I would have to look at the history again for some of them and how they've sort of traveled through the various members of the family. But yeah, I'm not sure. Carol says, I'm hoping Princess Josephine starts wearing Queen Mary of Denmark. I think she could pair it off. They both have the same body type. Yeah, I'm sure. And there's some where it will really work, but it definitely depends on the fit. If people just aren't the same height, size, or have the same dimensions, it just won't really work. Mateo says only dress Mart leaked to see on Ingrid Alexander was that blue gown she wore for her first official portraits and that purple gown she wore as well. Yes, I agree. Both of those looked good. I'm curious if she was allowed to refit them or whatever, but there's been a couple others that I've seen Ingrid Alexander wear, and I'm like, well, they're nice gowns, but you don't look like it makes you look older. It just doesn't fit very well. Louise says, Lizzie, Belgium has 9 in total. Denmark has 15 in total, including the one made for Mary, but not owned by her, the Midnight Tiara. Yeah. Sun Girl says 50. No, she looks 60 plus. She really honestly looked like some mother and the bride a little bit in that first thing. Aaron says, Marta has horrible fashion sense, in my opinion. So I'm sure Ingrid Alexander starts hanging out around normal people with different body shapes and confidence. I hope so. Because she's lovely. Lizzie B says, I like how Mary found a new tiara. It's golden, has history. I love it when they wear tiaras that have been forgotten or we haven't seen in decades. I agree. Be creative. Because again, the Danish really do have a small collection. So the more they can sort of kind of mine the vaults, I would say the better, in my personal opinion. So I am totally on board with that. Oh, Carol, thank you so much for the super chat. Love Tiara Watch Party. I love Tiara Watch Parties too. It's very exciting. I'm really excited to see what we will see. So Jody says Stephanie needs a better uplifting bra. A little bit. Carol says absolutely, Lizzie. And so it was, says Brittany, should tiaras be ranked only based on looks or based on history and heritage? So like if you're gonna look at a tiara, obviously its history and heritage does matter, but I'm all for the aesthetics. I like the ones that are pretty. And not that they shouldn't be shown or appreciated for what they are, what have you, but some of them aren't as well designed as others. And for some reason, I feel like Luxembourg has a lot of the poorly designed ones. Like I can kind of picture them in my head, but I just think of Queen Mary and I remember that gorgeous diamond and ruby tiara. It's just beautifully constructed, beautiful, beautiful piece. Or the amethyst in Sweden. Or we do have, let's say, the emerald tiara in Norway. All the tiaras in the UK, which are mostly actually diamond based. We don't have too many other gemstones. And in Spain, you have the fleur de lis and you have the pearl one, which is gorgeous. So there's some that really stick to the mind, but and that's partly because they're beautifully created. And for me, just except for like the Empire, and there's just another one I think was in a painted portrait of Stephanie. Beyond that, I just don't feel like there's ones that speak to me that much, if that makes sense. Becky says, has Henry and has Henri and Maria said what their plans are now? I can't remember right now. I think they're sort of pseudo retiring, but I imagine they'll be. Henry strikes me as kind of a, especially because his wife is rather overbearing, take steps back, whereas I think she'll try to interfere more. That would be my guess. I really don't know though, but we shall see. I think, they they probably have a palace somewhere they're going to stay in. I can't quite remember. I'll need to look it up again. Rediscover locations with Sharona says, do you think Princess Isabel will be at the New Year event with her turquoise tiara this year? I'm hoping so. I'm thinking about going to that, and that will be part of the reason. Louise says, Brittany, you have talked about the other outfits yet? And if not, can we please talk about how amazing Amalia looked today? She's definitely the fashion princess of her generation, I would say. Yes, we can definitely talk about it. Lizzie B says, what is the style for the Grand Duke and Duchess? HRH? I know Monaco, it's HSH, his or her Serene Highness. So it's HRH. And the intricacies of that, I do not know. But they are, instead of a prince or princess, they are a Grand Duke and Duchess, which is a bit higher on the totem pole. Becky says, she strikes me as not being able to stay out of the way. Me too. That's kind of the rub with Maria Theresa. So, since we asked about other looks, let's technically start first with the Luxembourgish royals, the other ones. So, because Maria Theresa and Henri have 5 children. So this is, and they have 4 sons and 1 daughter. So this is, oh gosh, I want to say this is Felix. I can't remember the other 2's names off the top of my head. I do apologize. Let me look it up. Grand Duke Henry. I can't remember their names. Okay, so we have Felix, Louis, and Sebastian. So if I remember correctly, the one on the far left is Sebastian. This is Louis, and this is Felix, and this is Felix's wife, Claire. Now, I do have to say, and I don't want this to come across as wrong, but I'm curious if her health is okay because it seems like she's gained a lot of weight in the last year or 2. And so I just wonder if there's something going on because yeah, it's just a little concerning. Because I remember being really surprised seeing her on Luxembourg National Day, and I remember thinking to myself, "Well, what happened?" Um, so obviously children and everything can be difficult. She was working on her PhD. I do love her shoes though. Her shoes are awesome. But yeah, I was just like, wow, I was just really surprised for Luxembourg National Day. I was really surprised. So that is how she looks. So she married the second oldest. So he is the second oldest. Louis is next, and then Princess Alexandra, and then Sebastian is the youngest. So Alice Ransom Ray says, Brittany, just gotta say, love your jumper. It's so sparkly. So I got this in Avignon, or sorry, in Provence while we were on our trip. And yeah, it's from Mage, which is a favorite brand of Princess Alexia. And so I got this in blue and pink, and I just wanted to wear it today because it's very cute. Probably paid too much for it, but it's very, very cute. So I can't wait to wear it though. It's a little bit of a shorter shirt than I would like, but I would probably wear it with a skirt. Carol says, "Is the suit appropriate for the event?" I mean, probably it's not bad. She's not trying to draw attention, obviously. Alice says, "Personally, I wouldn't wear a suit for this. I think this is a dress occasion, but she does look lovely. She does. I think she wore the same suit to Luxembourg National Day earlier this year. So I'm pretty, yeah, she wore oh, that's from today. I'm just curious if we see, because when was Luxembourg National Day? I can't remember. I don't think they have it in Getty Images. I must have found it somewhere else because sometimes Getty Images holds stuff and sometimes not. So if you guys are just wondering, kind of what difference I'm talking about, really, that's not a great picture. So let's see. This is 2017. So this was Claire in 2017. So again, I'm just curious if she's doing all right. So anyways, Erin says she looks healthy to me, not too skinny, not overweight. Yes, she is healthy, of course. I'm sure that's true, but sometimes you just like I would just remember when I saw the pictures earlier this year, I was just like, whoa, is she doing all right? Here we do have sort of a full look at Stephanie's dress. Well, let me see if I can get one without her waving. Doesn't seem like it. So we'll just go with this one. We do have a full picture of Stephanie's white dress here. I think this is a nice dress. I like it a lot better than the Elie Saab one. Because the Elie Saab one was tragic. So do you think that is a good look there? A little bit better? So it looks like some people are starting to arrive. So here we go, guys. Starting to arrive there for the gala. Very exciting because this is, guys, this is why we watch Royals somewhat. All right. So let's look at the other royal ladies here, guys. And oh, and we forgot. Hold on. Princess Alexandra, who is obviously very, very pregnant. So this is Grand Duke Henri's and Maria Theresa's only daughter. So she wasn't in the line of succession actually for a while. They like changed the law so she was in the line of succession. And yeah, so glad that she is there. Obviously about to I think she's giving birth this month, I want to say. I want to say it was October that she was expecting. So, but like I said, guys, let's talk about the other royals here. And the standout for me are the Dutch. By far the Dutch. They look incredible. And yeah, I think what the Dutch do better than anybody else is bring the drama. They bring the drama of the fashion. And when I was talking to Dan, William did sort of a thing on his talk with Eugene Levy talking about how when it comes to the future and everything, that William kind of wants to do away with some of the pomp and ceremony, and we don't know quite what that'll look like, but we can begin to imagine a bit, at least. And I have like a feeling that William will really want to pull things back. But what I love about the Dutch is that they embrace the absurdity of royalty. And you need to do that a little bit. You need to like I love that the Dutch bring the drama. They bring like they're not afraid of what royalty is. And I feel like not that he's afraid necessarily, but I think William's like, I'm just a little worried about how, it looks to people. It's like just embrace it. All little girls want to be princesses. So just embrace it. I think there's a wisdom in that. So I absolutely love their looks. Lizzie B says, but we love the pomp and ceremony. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And Alice Ransom Ray says, wow, love the autumnal colors. Yeah, I really do think they look great here. They blend really well here. And I love the capes. So they're both in G and Vito Rossi pumps. This is Alex Perry, Amalia's dress with her mother's Valentino cape. And Maxima is in Natan, one of the few good Natan numbers. Natan's so funny because sometimes it's not bad, and then other times it's like, ugh. So this is one of the good times. Okay, so guys, we do have. Oh, you know what? I'm being an idiot here. Hold on, hold on. I totally forgot, guys, that they are live streaming this on their website. Yep. So I just need to go and watch the live stream. I do apologize, guys. I'm sometimes, ooh, there's a manual. Hold on, this is the gala event. Okay, I kind of wish I had gone because wasn't able to get press credentials, guys. But it looks like there's a decent amount of the public there. At least there were in some shots. But there is Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte, because obviously Luxembourg has a French origin as well. And so some members of the royal family, wow, they've been broadcasting all day. Good for them. Okay. Okay, so we have a cardinal here trying to find the royals because apparently some of the royals did arrive. Okay. So we didn't see it, but man, I should have gone. So guys, here's what I'm talking about. So see, there is a crowd there. So even if you didn't get press credentials, you could have been part of the crowd. Man. And so it was says, Brittany, will you comment on more male fashion in the future? Some people have asked for it, and all the other royal commentaries refuse to comment on the male fashion. So I don't mind at all commenting on the male fashion. It's just a bit harder to like I would say Prince Daniel. I like his appreciation for double-breasted suits. It makes him stand out. He looks debonair, but sometimes it's just hard to like maybe they're in uniform or maybe, it's just something else. So it's hard. I hate to say it, but it's hard to kind of keep track of the men's fashion in totally the same way. So in that respect, I do not mind doing it all. I would like to do it in quite a in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it's just like, it's just a little challenging. because everything does kind of look samey, same. So that's troubling. So guys, you can't see me here, but I'm attempting to, again, try to find, it looked like Claire arrived. But now I can't find it. Sorry, I'm watching Luxembourg live stream, which you are welcome to watch it too. Oh, so it was says, okay, fair enough. Yes, but I do not mind. Like, if there's a guy that really stood out, like, we would definitely talk about it. Because sometimes they do, like Prince William and his velvet, and then sometimes I'm just busy and I forget. Like, that's. I'm gonna be totally honest. Oh, we have some tiaras here in this section of the video. So I think that's an extended member of the Luxembourg royal family because she looks kind of like the Grand Duke. So she must be one of Josephine's daughters. I don't know if they'll copyright strike things, so we're just going to pull out occasionally just to get a good look at things. But we do have, obviously, some royals there as well, and I think just extended members of the Luxembourg family. Okay, so those are the sisters and brothers of the Grand Duke Henri. Okay. I agree, because I think I've seen some of the Luxembourg ladies wear that particular tiara before. Okay, now who is that? Okay, we're pulling back for a second. So we can see her tiara a little bit there. That guy for a second kind of reminded me of, what's his name? The Duke of Gloucester. So she's got quite the nice tiara there, guys. Look at that thing. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, Mateo caught something. Fashion malfunction, the twisted order. Oops. Not supposed to have that. Louise says, looks like the lover's knot tiara. It does look like it. I don't think it is. So here is the members of, obviously, Grand Duke Henri's family. So Claire's where I can't remember what that tiara is called off the top of my head. Oh, I guess Princess Alexandra, guys, decided to sit this out. Which, again, doesn't surprise me. She looks very, very pregnant. So this is the fun aspect. Princess Claire and Felix leading. So it is the emerald up there on top. And again, guys, I am not as familiar with my Luxembourg tiaras. I don't remember what it is. But I have seen it before. So Aaron says, charisma and style, the pink dress, sparkling tiara, instant favorite. Yes. I gotta see it. So there we go. Ah, you're right, Lizzie B. The Chaumet emerald tiara. Chaumet, which is a, whatchamacallit. Obviously, it's a jewelry house. So we do have the press going, hey, please stand here so we can get a whole bunch of pictures. I do wish I was there. Not gonna lie. But it's kind of hard because some of them, like the Danish transition of power was actually kind of like underwhelming. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not sad I missed that in some ways. But you don't know what people are going to do. So, hold on. Actually, oh gosh. Okay, so let me show you guys something here real quick. Because we have the photographers taking pictures of Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron. And I just want to point out a couple of, at least Chris Jackson is there. I'm pretty positive. So, hold on just one second. Okay. So, guys. Oh, you were seeing me. Never mind. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So, this is Chris Jackson right there. I'm pretty positive that is Chris Jackson. These would probably be household members of the staff. I was trying to see if I recognize anybody else off the top of my head. Not really, but that is, I'm absolutely positive, is Chris Jackson. Polish and Needle said, could Princess Claire be pregnant again, but they haven't announced it because of the change in reign? That definitely could be a possibility. So, yeah. Aaron says, leaning hand on the back, Megsy style. Louise says, as someone who stood outside in 5 degrees Celsius on the 14th of January last year for like 6 hours, I can honestly say it was not underwhelming. Well, that is good. I mean, I'm sure it was. Like, underwhelming is like, I want tiaras. So like, when I don't get tiaras, I'm like, oh. Uh, uh, Carol said, God bless you. Thank you. Dexy says, wow, Princess Elizabeth is nice in silver. So the other royals must have arrived here. I have to say, I really like Brigitte Macron's look. I'm not going to lie. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. We do have. Oh, Stephanie is wearing the same dress again, guys. I was not anticipating that. She's wearing the same dress in the evening. I was kind of hoping we'd get something different. The tiara looks lovely, though. The tiara looks lovely. It is not the Empire, guys. The Empire is like 4 inches tall. So 4 inches tall. If somebody else, oh, Trisha says, who's Chris Jackson? So if you're not aware, Chris Jackson is like the big name British royal photographer. He has taken a lot of their pictures, and he was actually married, although they are rumored to be separated, to Natasha Archer, who was Catherine's stylist. And so he has been a lot of places. Like, he is kind of the creme de la creme when it comes to Getty Images photographers for royals. Julie says, I think her mother-in-law influences her dress style at one point. You nearly always wore her mother-in-law's hand-me-downs. Yeah, I agree. Mateo says that that's the same dress she's wearing. Yeah, unfortunately. I was really hoping we'd get something different. But she looks very happy. She's wearing, I can't remember what tiara it is. It's so bad, guys. I never keep Luxembourg tiaras. I am being really disappointed in my tiara game today. But when it comes to the Belgians, in the Dutch, I can definitely tell you. So this must be, I'm not sure who exactly that is, but he has security following him. So he's definitely very big. Aaron says the tiara and sash actually add much needed color to the dress. I do agree. I think the sash actually looks fairly well, or the royal order. Mateo says, I think she's wearing her wedding tiara. I don't think so. She's wearing like a historic piece within the collection. I can't remember which one it is, though. Dixie says, president of Germany. That's who that guy was right there, is the president of Germany. Yeah. So, because the Luxembourgs are part of there's like a coalition of German-speaking nations that meet every couple of years, and Luxembourg is part of that. So, in case you were curious. Yeah. So, yeah, when it comes to the British royals, both Patrick van Katwin, Netherlands, and Han Jewel, Denmark, are also great photographers. Yes, and they are well known to be within those spheres. And so Chris Jackson's well known for being British, but he also goes and does the other big royal events generally as well. So Guillume, and so there is. I mean, I think the color is actually really lovely on her. I just wish this front part of the dress had been changed so much. I wish it had been changed. But yeah, I don't think it's her wedding tiara, because her wedding tiara was quite small. So, but we'll get to more, because I did see Queen Mathilde, guys, and so she is wearing the base of the 9 provinces tiara. I kept wanting to say 9 prong, and I knew that wasn't right. It's like, oh man. But again, guys, I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning. So, and I've been going since then, pretty much. So, and so what says Brittany, how are you able to access the weird Scandinavian and European royal sources? No other YouTuber uses them. So I use Google Chrome, and it automatically translates them for me. So that's how I'm able to do some of that. Is you do have to take the extra length. You have to do the translations and stuff. And yeah, it's just not always super easy, but it is fun. It is definitely fun. So there's Queen Mathilde. So I was kind of waiting. I'm not sure I love her dress, but I do like the autumn color there. But the tiara is amazing. Although it is obviously grander with the, because it's the 9 provinces, so it actually has huge diamonds that can go on top and like arches and stuff, which she decided not to put on. Which makes sense again, because she is obviously visiting the new, like, so if you are royal in these particular situations, like you want to reflect your status, but you don't want to like overdo it, because the star of the show is Stephanie. That's the truth there. And so you don't want to overshadow Stephanie. Alice Ransom Raves says, it's such a shame. The embroidery on the corset, it was lovely, but the fit, yeah, the fit is awful. It's just awful. Yeah, a tailoring desperately needs to be mandatory for any public figure, Erin says. Yeah, and she has the money to pay to tailor it. So here they have walking up. And Queen Matilda is actually another person you might think is older than she is. It's partly her hairstyle, but guys, she's only like 51, believe it or not. So very sweet greeting. I would imagine they're speaking French. That would be my guess. I didn't realize. Is there sound coming through here, guys? Oh, I guess a little bit of sound. I didn't even notice that, because like they changed it on my thing. So yeah. Okay. Anyways, sorry guys. Oh, I love it that the princesses are walking together. Oh, that's so fun. Okay, so Elizabeth is in her birthday tiara, guys. And Amalia is wearing a new tiara to her lovely, oh, she loves the jewels. Oh, it's awesome. I'm going to have to look up the name, though, real quick, because I know exactly which one it is. Or I know, but I've forgotten. So you can actually change out part of the top stones for rubies. And so the green also reminds me of Catherine, the Princess of Wales's Jenny Packham dress. And so they are wearing the top orders of their nations that they have. So this tiara was purchased for Elizabeth, the one that she is wearing. So in case you were curious. And there we go with the new style. Ah, oh, so pretty. So pretty. So Maxima and Wilhelm Alexander come later because they are the oldest reigning monarchs that are there. Oh gosh, Maxima. Oh gosh. This is why I love Maxima, guys. She brings the plate. Look at that thing at the center of her chest. Ah, it's so ridiculous. But she goes there. She does it. It's wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. Oh man, that tiara is stunning. Holy crap, it's amazing. Sorry. Wow, that's gorgeous. And so they are actually wearing the orders that they got from Luxembourg. They are wearing their highest orders from Luxembourg, in case you were curious, because those are not, I'm pretty sure those are not the Dutch royals. Because they had done a state visit to Luxembourg, I want to say 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago. Yes. So Dixie says, yes, the Belgian and Luxembourg houses are family. King Felipe is the first cousin of Grand Duke Henri, and Felipe's father, Albert, and Henry's mother were brother and sister. Aw, so they get pictures together. Oh, gosh. Amalia's so tall. Oh, yeah. They need to center themselves a little bit. Aw. Aw, like, that's so cute. So cute. Oh, my gosh. Okay. So, yes. We are getting a little bit high-pitched. Yeah, so yeah, Lisby M says, well, Maxima is gorgeous. Has Queen Maxima lost some weight? She might have. Amalia's looks like she's lost some weight as well. But Amalia, I think, will always just have a fuller face. And so she may look like she's heavier, but it's just because that's the way sort of her face is designed. So very lovely seeing. Oh, I love that Maxima goes for the bling, man. Oh, I love Maxima goes for the bling. So that is the Dutch sapphire tiara. It's not a Mellorio. It's been often kind of cited as Mellorio, but it is not the Mellorio tiara. Oh my gosh. Max looks insane. Although it's Maxima's skirting the line there of being a little bit too big in terms of tiara. Just because, again, since Maxima is not the star of the show, in this particular instance, it's like better to tone it down a smidge. But gosh, I wish I had gone. I would have stood out in the crowd, seen the gala look. So those are all the major royals, but we're probably waiting for Henri and Maria Teresa. I have not seen them yet. So I imagine they may be the last to arrive. So I'm just trying to remember which one it's not that. So I believe it was Amalia. Oh, they pulled away. Oh, they'll do maybe the toast photo official. Yeah. Okay. So what is going to Catherine Amalia was wearing Queen Emma's diamond tiara. So Alice says, I agree, Brittany. It's amazing, but I think maybe something like the diamond bandeau would have been more appropriate. Yeah, I sort of agree. I feel like Maxima maybe overdid it a smidge. And that's sort of Max, to be quite honest, guys. It's kind of Maxima. But yeah, it's kind of a bit much. Oh no, Maxima, too much again. I mean, we love her for it. We love her for it. But you know, when you're at somebody else's event, you know, you kind of want to not overdo it too much. But it can also be a sign of respect that you bring out one of your biggest guns for an event. It is a sign of like, it's kind of respect. Louise says, how rude. Maxima never overdoes it. Everyone else just underdoes it. Oh, yeah. Very true. Carol says Maxima's motto, go big or go home. Yep. That is her motto. I go big or I go home. That is 100% Maxima there. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And so it's just so fun. These are so fun. So we are just waiting, guys. So let me go ahead and check out the Getty Images pictures. See if we have any updates yet. It might be a little bit too early. Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit too early. Although I do have to say, guys, I'm really disappointed Stephanie's in the same gown as earlier. I'm really disappointed. Not gonna lie. So we did not see the former Grand Duke and his wife arrive. So that could mean that they're already there. So yeah. Lizzie B says, I think it's suitable for Maxima as queen. She's representing her country. Very true. Trisha says, she wouldn't be Maxima if she wasn't over the top. Yep. So what tiara is Stephanie wearing? So let's look it up here real quick, guys, because I am, again, not as much of a tiara file on I think it's the Belgian scroll tiara. I think that's which one it is. So let's Sorry, I'm trying to figure out which tiara it is. I'm pretty sure because there's a lot listed, but we just don't. A lot of the designs of the Luxembourg ones are just not that pretty, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it's a Belgian scroll tiara, which is, yes, it is. It's not one that Grand Duchess Stephanie has worn yet. So that is the one she is wearing today. So Erica says Maxima is like Georgina, Ronaldo's fiance of the Royals, always in our face with her mega diamonds. Lizzie B says this is a Belgian scroll. Yes. Charna says Princess Claire is wearing a nightgown. She kind of sort of is. Yeah, it's not great. Mary Lou says Maria Teresa is my contemporary. We are both Cuban born. We left at the same time, still have common friends. Oh, that's so cool. Congratulations, Mary Lou. That is awesome. So yeah, if you have any stories to share, let me know. That would be super cool. Teo says, yes, I think it's a sign of respect because Queen Sylvia, when choosing tiaras for events, she thinks of what the other royal counterpart would love to see. Yes. And Maxima has said that as well, or something very similar. So it's very, very true. Lizzie B says, hey, if you got it, flaunt it. Yeah. Yes. And Carol says the Belgian scroll was on Stephanie in the official portraits. That is correct as well. So I think for Stephanie, it's like, it's not the over the top Empire tiara, which might have been a little much for the event, but I think it's one of the ones with the most historical significance. And so it says, Brittany, stupid question, but did you see Taylor Swift's new album? I know it came out today, but I'm honestly like not hugely into Taylor Swift, so I haven't really looked at it. So I do have to say, but like I will say that I think Taylor Swift, I may not be a fan, but she is definitely a marketing genius. Like you have to admit, she knows her stuff. So I think she does incredibly, incredibly well. And she, I think, is brilliant in a lot of ways. So anyways, guys, I'm kind of hoping and waiting to see if we get any more live stream coverage, like if there's a toast or something, because it may take them a little bit. So we'll hang around here for, let's say, until 1:15. And if we don't get much by that time, we'll just kind of go ahead and wind everything down. And if you do want to talk about the other royals, guys, we shall be on Royal News Network later today for our Friday live stream afternoon tea. Lizzie B says, I like Tara, but I don't get the new concept title of her album. I love Reputation Era, though. And Mateo says, Princess Amalia does some really good curtsies for being so tall. She does. She does. There was actually kind of a funny video. I meant to grab it from the UN, but I forgot. Anyway, so it was Amalia and Maxima greeting Queen Sylvia of Sweden. And they had a meeting with her and they were running late or whatever. And so Amalia, of course, curtsied to Sylvia. And Sylvia is very short. And Amalia is very tall. And she like her mom. And like her mom, she likes her heels. And so Amalia and Maxima stood next to Sylvia. And Sylvia's like, there's one point where you could see like she, flops down a bit or, kind of you could tell she was on her tiptoes and then kind of came down because she's like, oh, I'm so short. Carol says, Brittany, I sent you an email for Luxembourg Jewels. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. Yes, I do not know them quite as well as some of the others. But again, yeah, some of them are just different. But I do think we got to figure out what I wonder if it's another Alex Perry for Amalia, although it doesn't seem quite the style, so maybe not. So I'm going to have to, it almost looks like Jenny Packham, to be honest. I'm curious who Amalia is wearing. Ooh. So guys, if you have an extra $4,000 lying around and you really liked Catherine's gown from, I think it was Jamaica, there you go. You can get it on sale from my Teresa for $3,900. Just pointing that out there. Lizzie B says, I'm going to miss Queen Mary's curtsy. She did the best. The last one she did to Queen Rainey of Jordan at her son's wedding. Yeah, that was awesome. Dixie Bell says, the Belgian scroll tiara was first worn by Grand Duchess Josephine Charlotte. She brought the tiara for her marriage to the Grand Duke Jean, created in Belgium, and the diamonds came from Belgian Congo. Very cool. Carol says that could be an upcoming video. It could, for sure. Like, how do you do tiaras and curtsies and so many things? Okay, so let's see. I am super curious. Again, if Amalia is wearing Jenny Packham. She could be wearing something else. But I haven't seen like the official pictures yet, so we will have to wait and see if that's. But it's fun to kind of sort of speculate and check out because it definitely has sort of Jenny Packham elements to it. I'll have to look again. Oh, check out Monique Lillier. That could be another option. Mary Lou says Maria Teresa plays and dances great cumin music, and so do the boys. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Alice Renseray says, gotta go, everyone. This was so much fun. And bye all. Goodbye. Juniper gown. Okay, that might be it. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll have to look. Jenny Packham stuck out to me a little bit as an option for Princess Elizabeth's gown, but I'm just not sure yet. We'll have to see sort of once like the pictures start to come in. That's when you can kind of maybe really gauge. But we did also, guys, not get a chance here to share what the Belgian royals looked like earlier. So here we have Matilda and Princess Elizabeth. So Princess Elizabeth is in Natan, and I don't think it's a bad dress necessarily. And we do have Queen Matilda, and I'm not sure, she might be in Dior. I haven't seen confirmation yet. I'll have to look. Carol, you might have sent me an email and I just haven't seen it yet. But I think I really like actually Matilda's look a lot. I really, really like that dress. She's obviously paired it with a Dior bag, which is, and I think the shoes might be Dior too, which is why I'm sort of leaning Dior. But we'll have to see. But I do think it looks lovely. Oh, yeah. Monique Lillier, I think is definitely, yeah, I think you're right there. Carol, that definitely looks like it. We'll have to look again to be sure, but oh, $10,000, guys, for that gown. $10,000. Wow. Okay. Carol says Brittany, Queen Matilda's head to toe Dior. Yes. Okay. So Mateo asked, where am I watching the live from? That's a great question. So there is a whole website dedicated to the transition. And let me show it to you here. It's called, so here, if we go up here, Tronwiesel. That's the name. That's the name. So yeah, if you want to look it up. Lizzie B, upcoming tiara video, Luxembourg Royal Tiaras. We'll probably do a wrap up first of this event, and it'll be less history, more just what everybody is wearing. Because I do have something that I want to do maybe for next year. I'll have to see if I get the time to even start to kind of get it done. But I do want to do something a bit different with like kind of Tiara Tuesday, that type of thing, moving in a little bit of a different direction and sticking mostly to like when they're wearing something, not as much Tiara videos all the time. So that's what we're thinking. But yeah, if you want to check out the live stream, that is where it is. And so guys, we'll give it another 10 minutes here. And if nothing happens, we'll go back in a different direction. But we do have this earlier, or we can see maybe arrivals here. Oh, and we didn't get to talk about the former Grand Duke and Duchess. Ah, they're the royal ladies. I think Maxima and Queen Mathilde really did a great job. And I think everybody looked really great. And so there's Grand Duke Henri and his son. And Marie Theresa is also wearing Natan. And I feel like it's a look we've seen before, which is kind of nice. She's not overdoing it. There's Maria Theresa. But I almost feel like even here you can see the influence on Stephanie's looks. I hope I'm actually showing you that. Yeah. You can kind of see a bit of the influence on Stephanie's looks there. So anyways, that is my thought process. And there's Stephanie and William walking in to do the swearing in ceremony after the abdication. And again, the gown flows beautifully, but that top is bad. The top is really bad. So let's go to the end here to do some pictures. So it looks like they were in the same spot. That would have been a long day, guys, because I think they're in the same spot for the gala and then for this earlier. So if you wanted to keep your spot, you might have had to be there all day. And that's part of the reason why I like being part of the press too, is just you kind of get a little bit of a break. So here we have earlier, we have the new Grand Duke and Duchess on the balcony and a lot of excitement for the change in power there. Because everybody's got to have a balcony, guys. You are not royal unless you have a balcony. Sweden even like built up their balcony for this. And then we have the kids coming up. So there's Charles, who will be the future Grand Duke, and his brother, Francois. So we have the former Grand Duke and Duchess and the new Grand Duke and Duchess. Doesn't look like there's a huge crowd, though. In some ways. Well, I mean, I guess you could see a lot here. So, excuse me. I guess off to this side, but that might be more security measures than anything. So, and then we do have, oh, okay. The live stream is so long that, so we do have the other members, the very, very pregnant Princess Alexandra. And then the other royals come out, which I thought was fun. For a brief moment. So again, family solidarity. The Dutch royals are heading out early. They're like, see you later. All right. And let's go to the end here. So not really. And there was some weird thing with Emmanuel Macron. So again, we have Princess Claire arriving. Queen Mathilde arriving. Again, Queen Mathilde and King Felipe are arriving a bit earlier because they've been on the throne a little bit less time than Queen Wilhelmina, Alexander, and Queen Maxima. So you're seeing you already also depends on how long you've been king or queen. So they've been on the throne a little less time, like just like a year. Or maybe even less than that, because the throne changed in 2013. I can't quite remember. Let's see. He became king. Yeah, July 2013. So barely less than Wilhelm Alexander. Barely less. Because Wilhelm Alexander came to the throne in April of 2013. Now that's like an event I wanted to go to because they had a huge TIARA event the night before and everything. So Carol says, thank you for the information, Brittany. You are welcome. Salman says, who is wearing what? So Amalia is wearing Monique Lillier. I'm not sure about Princess Elizabeth. We do have Queen Mathilde and Dior earlier, Princess Elizabeth and Nathan earlier, Maxima and Nathan, Elizabeth and Nathan. We also have and Amalia and Alex Perry. We have Grand Duchess Stephanie and Ellie Saab and something else. Oh, and another one I haven't looked at yet. So Dixie says on October 7th, there is an official state visit of King Felipe and Queen Letizia of Belgium. Yeah. And so it was, is it really late in Europe? How is this so light outside on the live stream? So some of that is earlier in the day, but it's currently will be 7 o'clock there, 7:11. So I think we're waiting for the official gala thing and toast, but we'll probably go ahead and wrap this up at 1:15. That gives me some more time to organize since, I've kind of been back to back to back. So it gives me more time to get things prepped for the live stream on Royal News Network later today. So anyways, Just keep waiting and seeing if something pops up. Because it takes them a while to get like situated and sat down and everything. So we shall see. But yeah, it's only 7, but it will get dark there fairly early because they're pretty high up in latitude. Or is it longitude? Anyways, so I feel like this is kind of like, well, I don't know what else to talk about. Oh, let's see if Getty Images has any new pictures. Okay, we do have some new pictures here. Okay, so this is Patrick. This is the Dutch royal photographer, basically. And there they are. I think actually this is a really beautiful look on Max. I would guess it's Nathan. It might be Jan though, the guy who does like the most amazing looks for her. He did her inauguration look for when Wilhelm Alexander was inaugurated. That's what they call it there. And so yeah, I really like it. It's amazing. And the sapphire just looks amazing on her. So yeah, that tiara is spectacular. So yeah, great look from Maxima there. Stephanie, oh, that dress is so unfortunate. That dress is so unfortunate. The color is lovely, but the rest, very sad. We do have a lovely picture from behind of Katharina Amalia doing a curtsy here, a deep curtsy, which is lovely to see. So there they are. So this again is from Patrick. We do have, it looks like maybe a hairnet there for Princess Elizabeth. And so we have Amalia doing the curtsy there. She did not go with the emerald tiara though. But what I love about Amalia is Amalia has a huge, huge love for the jewels. And so I think within the family, which I think is really cool. Because I was a bit disappointed, guys, because Prince William, in his interview with Eugene Levy, goes, I'm not really all that into history. And I'm like, no. No, I want you to be into history. So this is the look of all of them together. So Amalia kind of went with her mom there, but she also has her own style, which I kind of like. Like she kind of borrows from her mom, but at the same time, she has her own style. We have Princess Elizabeth here. This very much seems like a Jenny Packham, but I'll have to look. It might be Nathan too, because sometimes if they go with one designer for event, they go all designers for an event. And so it was, says Brittany, what is your plan for the Nobel Prize this year? You talked about getting press pass before. Yes, I will try to apply again and we will see, where it goes. So part of the problem with, let's say, the Nobels or something like that is that I'm not a part of an official press agency, and that seems to be where they lean when it comes to awarding stuff. And when it comes to film rights, they exclusively reside with like Swedish television, basically. So there's a channel in Sweden that gets the official rights to them. So I don't know if they would let me even video record something. So yeah. Carol says this is a look she can repeat in the Netherlands. She can. Lizzie B says, did Grand Duchess Stephanie cut her hair? I'm not sure because she's had the same style all day, so I'm not entirely sure. Louise says, crying from pure joy. Quinteris says, Princess of Orange. Flower tiara from Queen Emma without the stars. Queen Maxima is wearing the tiara from Queen Emma, which was made by Mason van der Stijssel. Lizzie B says, is Princess Elizabeth wearing a new tiara? No, she's wearing a tiara actually purchased for her. So, because the Belgians, again, don't have a huge collection. Yes, Dixie says Princess Elizabeth's dress is Jenny Packham Ernst's maxi dress. I was right. I was right, guys. I really didn't know. It just looks like Jenny Packham to me. So, sorry. I like, because one of the things about looking at the fashion stuff is that it's always nice when I can look at something and go, I think it's X. And yeah, I see it right here. Because then you can kind of know Ooh, they have 3 colors, so it's different colors of gold, I think, for it, which is actually really cool. I kinda like this. Um, Although it's not letting me switch colors. So, and anyways, so guys, if you're curious, this is Princess Elizabeth's gown. It looks like it comes from in white. So this is gold. Says cashmere, but this is gold. It looks like this is white gold and this is rose gold. But for some reason, every time I try to click on it, it won't let me click on it. So I don't know if those are sold out. I don't know what have you. But that's honestly not a terrible price for Jenny Packham. And maybe they'll get out there. So Carol said sold out in other colors. Darn. I kind of like it would have been kind of cool to have like you have 3 people and everybody chooses a different color of like different gold. Honestly, one of my favorite dresses is well, it looks especially good in videos, and this is why you have the kind of the difference between videos and pictures, is you have Brigitte Macron here, and that's actually a really nice dress. I like that dress, to be honest. I do like that dress. And so Wes says, "Whoa, that price." Well, it's about half of what Amalia spent on her dress. So that gives you an idea of the prices. And yeah, Louise says, no, 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 absolutely not. Carol says Jenny Packham is one of the more affordable brands compared to the others. It really is. And there is the pink version, the pink dress that Catherine wore, the long sleeves that she wore in Jordan, and she has it in green too. They have a one on the Real, and I'm really hoping to buy it at some point. Unfortunately, it is still on the website there for like $1,600, but I just wanted to get cheaper. Mateo says, I feel like Brigitte is like Queen Camilla. They basically always wear the same dress, but with different colors and embellishments. Yeah, because I think Brigitte has that same dress in black. But honestly, on the video, it actually looked beautiful on the video. So I'm a fan of burgundy. What can I say? So I always like burgundy. So, guys, should we give it another 10 minutes here? We may give it another 10 minutes. See if the toast comes up. If not, guys, we will go ahead and end the live stream. And if you want to see more, I will be doing like a whole fashion review of this event for Sherzies. And I will give you guys all my thoughts on everything. I mean, you heard some of them here, but we'll be more focused and hopefully have more identifications and everything so I can share with you guys what I think. Because, yeah, it's a beautiful event, beautiful looks, but some of them I think we could all agree maybe are a bit more beautiful than others. Oh, this is sweet to see. Like William here giving her a little kiss on the hand. Oh, I can't wait till Amalia becomes queen. I don't know if I'll still be doing this at that point, but Amalia, she'll rock the Dutch sapphire there. Maxima does this so well. I actually really do like that dress. I wonder again, it's like Yon Timu or something. Tiamu or something. Oh gosh. Oh, there it is. I'm just curious if he did Maxima's latest gown. He doesn't say. Because sometimes I know. Let's see. I had to switch. Okie dokie. We'll wait for later to do that. But I do like Maxima's gown quite a bit. But these are so fun, guys. These are so fun. All right. So we got no movement. I think we'll go ahead, unless we get some more pictures here, and just go ahead and wrap up. Of course, you are welcome to watch the live stream yourself as well. Oh, and we do finally have pictures of the Belgian queen here. And so the 9 provinces is her most spectacular tiara. So she definitely, I mean, she's not wearing it in the biggest setting, but there's a better look at Matilda's dress. I'm not sure if I'm totally a fan of it. But she definitely went with burgundy as her color scheme. So that's awesome. Ooh, we have a close-up of Maxima. And this is why, guys, I love the other royals, because unfortunately the British do not have a great system of getting great pictures of their events, in particular their jewelry. So this is a picture from Patrick. And I mean, just look at the details here that you can pick up in the tiara. Like you can get, I mean, that's spectacular. We just don't get always this type of thing from the British, and it just drives me absolutely batty. We can get a good look at the earrings. And ooh, that brooch. Because I feel like the Brits are always like in a dark corner somewhere, and they get 3 pictures and they call it good. And I'm like, oh, come on. Can't you do better? Like, do better. That's my personal thought there. But anyways, love Maxima. Carol says, love the jewelry shots. Me too. We don't get enough of them, especially from the Brits. Lizzie B says, I've never seen Matilda with that kind of necklace. She looks amazing. She does. Carol says, it's definitely daring. Chaumet is one of the oldest jewelry houses. Yeah, I think that's sounds about right. It's obviously they make beautiful stuff. If you actually go into, I think it's them, and you go into their store in Harrods, oftentimes they do have at least one tiara on display. Although I will say I don't think modern tiara designs are as good as the older designs, in just my very humble personal opinion. Huh. Interesting. So I went back to the live stream site and just out of curiosity here. So we have, when it comes to the line, the Grand Dukes and Duchesses, we have Grand Duke Henri and Grand Duchess Maria Theresa listed first, and the new Grand Duke and the Grand Duchess listed afterwards. So, I mean, that's not a huge surprise, but also, yeah, I was just like, oh. So this was a previous, I guess, recent visit from the president of Singapore. I'm looking forward to new styles for Stephanie. I hope she figures out a style that works for her. Anyways, I just thought it was funny again because it's like I can't see Maria Theresa going away quietly, unfortunately. It Iligo says Chaumet is one of the oldest jewelry houses dating back to Napoleon. They are the tiara specialists. NJ Clark says love. Lizzie B says I feel like the brooch gets lost in the dark lace. You can't really see it. I mean, I can somewhat see that. But anyways, I think it's an awesome choice from Maxima. I mean, it's ridiculous, but that is very much her. That's very much her. All right, guys, we will go ahead and wrap up the live stream, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it so much. If you want to, obviously, check out the Metro live stream later here. This is the official website. Put this in, and I'm sure you'll find the live stream. It's a special site from the Grand Duke. And so if you're wanting to watch the live stream to see maybe the comments and the speech, which I'm sure will be coming, you can head out over there. But we will go ahead and wrap up this segment today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and enjoying video about everything coming soon. And I shall speak to you guys at 3 o'clock. So not too much longer. Whew, it's been a day. It has been a day. All right, guys. Oh, hold on. I need to end stream, not like totally end everything. All right, guys.